What are we cooking?
We are going to make a shrimp larb with some yellow oyster mushrooms and just have that with some rice.
How did you get your start and what did that look like for you? Because I feel like it's so behind the scenes, and I'm gonna like bring out a cultural reference. I just watched The Bear.
Oh yeah.
And I've heard that it's pretty accurate, but obviously I have no experience in that. But like, what does that look like for you?
The Bear is very accurate. It definitely, you know, brought on some anxiety for me, and I definitely cried watching it.
Oh wow.
But yeah, I mean, I didn't start out in, you know, in food. I wanted to be an artist. I studied fine arts and did my honors year. So that was a 4-year degree. And then when I finished, I think I just became really jaded by the art world and found myself, you know, sitting in a gallery, waiting for someone to have a conversation with me. And meanwhile, when I was working in bars and restaurants to pay the bills, I'd walk in and it would be completely opposite, where, you know, everyone had an opinion about what I looked like, how I cut, like, you know, what I like to eat, all of it. And that was so, I don't know, I was just so attracted to that. I was attracted to like anyone having an opinion or like wanting to communicate and wanting to like have a conversation about what I was doing, versus making art and not having anyone really, you know, converse over it. So.
And when you say having a conversation about what you were doing, I know you're saying like comments on how you look or what you were making, like what, I don't know, give me more of an example of that. Like, and was that something that was like hard for you to hear, or was it something that you were like, you took and you were like, I'm gonna take that and improve on that, or what did that look like for
both, you know, I was very much like, you know, learnt how to like properly cut and properly store things. And so a lot of hard lessons that I learnt like in a very aggressive way from like male mentors and male chefs and other male cooks in my vicinity, but also just like, it didn't feel hard because it toughened my skin, and I was like very competitive at that time and just was so hungry to like get to the top and get to like learn as much as I can and like be better than them. So in a big way, it challenged me.
How was your self-worth during that time, and how has it evolved?
I mean, my self-worth during that time was not great, and it's definitely something that I'm still working through, and that's from, you know, definitely from being in the kitchen and never feeling worthy or like good enough. Also definitely double-fold from the art world, where, you know, I never felt like my opinion mattered, or what I was creating mattered. And I think now, just over the years, I've come into more of my own and like what I want to do and the way that I want to do it, the way I want to run a kitchen, and seeing the reaction to that in a positive way has like encouraged me to continue forging that path for myself. It's probably the biggest thing that I have to work with every single day, and it changes every day. You know, there's days that it feels great because, you know, and, you know, often I am surrounded by incredible people who encourage me and inspire me. And there are days where I feel like I'm just not good enough, and I think during the pandemic, it was really hard to grapple with, you know, well, what is my worth without like doing, like without cooking? If like the world's gonna shut down and I don't get to cook and express myself in this way, this is my craft and my art, then who am I? And so I think specifically through the pandemic, I found ways to, and that's really how I started my company. Well, I started my company already before that, but how it really dove into it in a way that was just taking the bull by its horns and like unabashedly being myself with it. And yeah, I've just found great success from it, which feels awesome.
I actually want to go back because you said that in The Bear you actually cried. I'm wondering if you can unpack that a little bit.
Yeah, I think I remember at that time in my life, there was no major goal to like have a restaurant or anything. I just like really was focused on what I was doing and really wanted to learn and really wanted to like be the best that I didn't see beyond that. So I think just within that scope, it was hard to like have chefs scream at you all day and like have people push you around and, you know, have people all have, you know, men say derogatory things to you and like treat you like one of the bros and yeah, and then also not, you know, leave you out of things because you're a woman.
Right.
So,
right.
Yeah, those were the feelings that came up watching it there.
Okay.
So,
yeah. So what should we do next?
Oh, for you?
Yeah.
Yes,
Am I doing good?
You're good.
Okay.
Maybe you can pull apart these mushrooms.
Okay. Did you have to like work on that while you were like did you even know that this was something that was like affecting you, or you're just like,
yeah,
this is how it is. I'm just gonna go with the flow.
Definitely the latter of this is just how it is and I'm just gonna have to go with the flow. And to be completely honest, like I don't even think that until maybe 3 years ago that, oh, I mean, maybe not just 3 years ago, maybe until like 5-6 years ago was I really like understanding like the concept of mental health like in the kitchen, you know. I think, and also it's just become a lot more prevalent of a concept like in the world as well. A lot more people are talking about it and diving in and like, and also I go to therapy, so you know that's something that I am really proud of and feel really grateful for, to have the means to do that. It's not that it wasn't discussed, there was just no name to it. There was no name to like, oh, you're having like a mental health like situation happen right now.
Yeah.
Let's talk about it. It was more very much the latter of what you were saying of just deal with it and move on, and like you're wasting someone's time. The majority of my time in the kitchen has been amazing, and also I think, you know, for me to like run my own business in this way, like I've been able to forge my own path with how I, you know, deal with mental health amongst myself and my own staff. And really that's like why I started therapy, was when I started to have employees.
Oh, wow. That's really interesting.
Yeah.
And I mean, obviously everyone goes to therapy for different reasons, but that's really amazing to I've never heard someone say that in that way. Am I doing this okay?
Yes, great job.
I'm like super intimidated.
Salt the mushrooms, just toss them in a little bit of salt and oil. Okay.
Now I'm really intimidated.
You can do it. I believe in you. See, this is what therapy is good for. You can like encourage your cooks to do well, even though, you know, you're watching the whole time.
Right.
Do a little more oil.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'd just be a little more gentle. Like you can like just, you know, gently like toss.
Okay.